What's up, you guys? Happy Thursday, and let's get right into another recap here. So, today was a day where you could have definitely once again made money either with TQs with the market going up or in SQQQ with the market selling off or falling, right? Going down. And let me just go ahead and quickly cover how I did on the day just to get that out of the way. But I was up $57 on TQs and $23 on SQs. And I unfortunately today, if you guys will notice, I traded QQQ and that was on accident. There was a trade earlier in the morning, one of my first trades, where I literally accidentally bought in thinking I was buying into TQQQ. I just missed a T, I guess, typing it in. And I literally bought in with over $30,000 when I thought I was buying in with like $2,500. So instantly cut it, but yeah, that's where the $13 down comes from, and that's why there's an order for QQQ, because me and my brother never traded. That's why it made look weird to you guys, but here are all my filled orders on the day. And yeah, I was done trading pretty quick today, only 135 orders, and I was done by 7:30 basically, so an hour of trading. So very happy with that. And how was I able to capitalize on this? So the market went up and down multiple times, and that's why, if you'll notice, I made money on TQs with the market going up, like I said, and SQs with the market going down. So I made money with the market going in both directions today. That's why I like to trade these ETFs, because you can choose which way you want to go with the market. And yeah, that's what I like to do. And on top of that, I want to show you the NASDAQ, how it's been looking bigger picture. So right around here was when the market was opening up, and as you can see, we were still uptrending without a doubt the overall direction, but we have uptrended a lot, where we're approaching a point where I thought we were maybe going to start seeing some type of resistance, right? It makes sense, because anytime the market approaches a top VWAP, just by looking at it in the past, the bigger picture time frames, it does tend to follow with some type of resistance. And once we pushed up today, I was just aware of that for a potential sell-off. But as far as the actual sell-off goes, I didn't take part in that because I was done trading by 7:30 in the morning, right around here. And what was I able to see basically to allow me to profit on both ETFs? And basically, it all starts from right around here. This was when the market opened up, and like I've said every video the past few days I've been making here, the market, when it opens up, it tends to shoot in one direction and then try and find some type of choppiness, right? And today, when the market was opening, it was right around up here, around these levels, and we immediately started to get a flush down. Now, after this flush down, I was aware of the fact that the NASDAQ, like I just said, tends to follow with some chop after, and I thought there was going to be potential the chop would start kind of around this area, basically, because look at this pattern. The NASDAQ has beautifully been uptrending and using this green SMA line here as a support, and it's been acting as a pretty strong support, right? It's been pretty rare for the NASDAQ to kind of break below it aggressively or anything like that, and I was just paying attention to that. So when the market opened up and fell right around here, I decided to start looking to get into a quick TQQQ trade, because I thought there was a potential we could get a play up, right? And the market started to push up after I bought in with a quarter right around here for TQQQ, and I would only average in if it broke above this blue EMA line here for a nice gap up, right? Confirming the signs of an uptrend. So I averaged up actually, and when this candle ended up coming back down and breaking below it, I cut those shares I averaged up with immediately. So I bought in with a quarter around here, and I averaged up with 3/4, with the other 3/4 of my position, or $7,500 I added, right? I'm using $10,000 total, just to remind you guys. And yeah, so basically I'd add the other 3/4 when it breaks above, showing signs it's gonna start to uptrend. And once again, it fell below and flushed me out. And it was like the third time where it really started to go. I averaged back in, and it really took off, and I was able to cut the majority of my shares up here and basically lock it in. And right after that, I just want to make you guys aware of the fact that the NASDAQ kept forming these supports. Even though it kept flushing back down, it still kept trying to follow these higher lows that were forming, right? It kept trying to form those higher lows, and I was just aware of that. That's what basically gave me the idea, the indication that this was good to have a nice gap up, like what happened. And that's why locking the majority of my shares up here wouldn't be a bad idea because of what I showed you, right? The Nasdaq, when it tends to approach this top view up here, it might follow with some type of resistance, and I just wanted to do my part to lock in the majority in case that happened. I didn't want to be upset with myself and, just get too greedy or anything like that. So when the market started to pull on back, I decided to take some plays on SQQQ, especially when I was looking out for a potential big sell-off. And on top of that, when the market started to fall below this blue EMA line here, it was no longer kind of using it as a support to really rally up. And once it fell below, I added to SQQQ, and I basically covered my play, and it wasn't anything big, right? If you guys saw, I was only up like $23 on SQ, so nothing big. I think I may have only averaged up with half of my position. We can check that in the filled orders, but to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I was only in with like half. You guys obviously don't have to be in with the full amount if you don't want to. If you only feel comfortable averaging up with like 1 or 2 quarters instead of the full 3, then that's fine, right? It's whatever you guys feel comfortable with. That's what will lead to your best trading because you can handle all the emotions and everything like that. So I cut my trade on SQs once it had a nice dip simply because of the fact that I thought we could form another higher low, right? And that's why, if you guys will notice, right around here at 7:30 is when I cut my last trade, and I was able to take part in this next rally up. And a lot of you might be wondering, if you saw this, you might be thinking, well, why did you think that there could be another play up, right? The Nasdaq started to fall, and it fell below the support it had here. It fell below the green SMA line here, right? Does not mean it's showing signs that it can fall. And I agree with you, it is showing signs it can definitely fall, and I was looking out for that. If it wanted to keep falling below the middle VWAP and not finding any support and continuously just falling, then I would have started to go with SQQQ, right? That would have made sense. But I was also aware of the fact that even with the market falling below the SMA line here, it could still technically try to form a higher low, because the low it had here was still higher than the previous low it had right around this area. So even with it falling, overall big picture, right, we can all agree that it could still form a higher low right around here. This was a pretty critical area, and in my opinion, that's why we saw such a dramatic shift of direction, right? We ended up getting this nice green candle up, and once I bought in with TQs and averaged up again when it broke above the EMA, I just let it play out a bit, and I ended up cutting my trade where I was happy, but obviously I cut it very, very short. If I remember right, I cut it right around when the Nasdaq was at 7.5, right around here, 13,075. It ended up shooting all the way up to 13,110 basically. So definitely missed out huge on that, but didn't want to get greedy or anything like that, and just very happy with how it played out. So I hope you guys could have learned something from today too, of just how beneficial it can be to be open to trading both types of stocks and everything like that, right? I found that in the past, anytime I've been so one-sided with a stock and thinking it has to be a TQs or SQs, I don't typically do the best because of days like this, right? Where it's very hard to be only focused on one direction or anything like that. Alright, so thank you guys once again. That was a little recap here, a green little recap thankfully. But yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you all ended green, and take care.